Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T. Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Can't wait for you to meet Miss T. She is the T in T.
And welcome back to Sweet Tea Time. And don't get mad at me, but we are going to dive back into the series that I've been working on called What is Blocking You? Now, I know sometimes it's way easier to blame other people about why you're not advancing in life, but sometimes the blockage is literally inside of you. And if you're like me, I didn't even know until somebody helped me know. And I've learned over time that sometimes people don't die or their dreams don't die because they don't really want them. Sometimes I think it's because there's a lack of knowledge. You just don't know what you don't know. And so my goal with this series is to help you know some things. It took me forever to know some things that will hopefully cut you loose, set you free, and help you soar. So let's get started with today's topic of what is blocking you. You ready for this? Relying on one source, or relying on a specific source, or never graduating from the fact that there's so many ways that you can make so much money and make so much impact. But if you're only focused on this one way to do it or this one resource stream, then I promise you, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be blocked. So let's get into that. Relying on one source. So I call this my $750,000 lesson. And the reason I call it that is because I had an opportunity to receive funding for my organization. And it took me a very long time to get those resources in my bank, but I was on it. I was focused on it. I was emailing people. I was calling people. We want my money. We want my doing all the paperwork, filling stuff out, refilling stuff out, then refilling stuff out again. And I was so concentrated on this one revenue flow that it totally and completely blinded me from alternative streams of new revenue. And how did it do that? Number one, it had my sole focus because it was so difficult to get this thing in that I couldn't focus on any other revenue streams or any other new ways to get money because this one demanded my time, my talent, and my attention. Another thing is because it was so difficult, here's something that most people miss. Sometimes, and I call them revenue streams because it's like currency. It is currency. It flows to you, or sometimes the stream can run dry. And sometimes when you're so focused on digging, getting this, this opportunity from this dry place, that you don't realize that you are trying to drain resources from a revenue stream where it's dried up. And so I'm learning even more now to, one, before I start putting my time and my talent and my resources into demanding revenue or opportunity from a specific stream, I study the stream first. Has it changed? Has it shifted direction? Because of the season that we're in, has this revenue stream dried up? Because I do a great deal with philanthropic organizations and, I have a nonprofit as one of my, corporate entities. Sometimes you can keep demanding grants from the same places when the season is shifted, meaning that they have a lot of resources in the beginning of the year, but not as much during the middle part of the year. And so you can be demanding financial support in the middle part of the year when it's all dried up and you should have started at the top of the year, which is why I say you need to study these streams to understand its flow, its growth, and how to get it to go to you, and when its seasons are. When does it shift? When does it change? When is it strong? When is it overflowing? Because sometimes these revenue streams, they overflow because every 7 years they're replenished, or every 2 years they're replenished. So you want to study the personality of the stream before you start demanding things from it, especially when it doesn't have time to give or the ability to give. The second thing is recognizing the fact that you have to be agile. You never put this, my mom used to tell me this, my grandma used to tell me this, and my great grandmother used to tell me this, never put all your eggs in one basket. If all of Your ability to be an organization and healthy and financially sound is all resting on this one stream giving you revenue. Can I just tell you something right now? Danger, danger, danger. Now, let me put that personally. Now, this is not a secret, but I spent, before I was on any Forbes list or magazines or California's, all the accolades happened, I spent 2/3 of my life on government assistance. That's the welfare system, EBT cards, free food programs, all of that, from being a kid to a young adult. So I know what it's like to build a lifestyle on the limitation of government assistance. Now, why is that important for you to know? Because sometimes you cannot succeed. You can block your own growth because it may disqualify you from this one resource stream. And so I spent 2/3 of my life doing that. And it wasn't until I got some level of training, mentoring, knowledge, which helped me to be free from that system, that I was able to start seeing and thinking that there are other ways, other streams, and other possibilities for someone like me to not only survive, but to produce for myself. And it wasn't until I got that I was able to stop being so reliant on government assistance. In fact, I wouldn't even move into a better house or better communities because I thought it might compromise this one way of living for me, or this one resource pool for me. So one of the things I had to learn very quickly is when I started to recognize the shift in things, when I started to recognize the season change, when I started to recognize the fact that I can't get any more out of this, I had to learn how to be agile. So I never build any system that doesn't leave room for me to be float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You got to be able to move around when the blows come or when the resources stop or when the challenges hit. And so I realized that because I was on a government assistance, I didn't have the ability to be agile. And it wasn't until I got off of government assistance by way of me depending on that for my lifestyle as a revenue stream that I was able to build agility in my everyday living, how I'm supporting my family, and how I was building my company. So being agile means you got to be a forager. You got to get out there and you got to discover what is new, what's different, what's now, what's best, what's more. Where are the huge pots of opportunity that I can tap into? Number two, you got to be daring. You cannot be afraid to do something new. Agility requires you to juke in a heartbeat, baby. And that may mean you're not hanging around with the same people. You're not going to the same mixers. You're doing something different because you got to shift and shift quickly. And I would also suggest that agility also means you got to be light on your toes. I never anchor myself in a way of only doing it this way. I'm even agile in how I brush my teeth and do my hair. Like, you got to be willing to shift when the better presents itself. And the last thing I'll offer is be ready at a moment's notice. Opportunity knocks. Most people miss opportunity because they're not ready to walk through the door when it swings wide open for opportunity to present itself. You got to be ready at a moment's notice and practice saying yes. Like, most often people come up with every reason in the world why they can't go pursue something new. Oh, I have to do this, or oh, I have to go here, or oh, my friend said. When opportunity presents itself, it's never convenient. Most often it presents itself at the most inconvenient of times. But you have to condition yourself when opportunity, especially when it makes you nervous and scares you and it's something big that you've never done and it's just like a whole new world. Yes, I'll go to that event. Yes, I'll show up for that opportunity. Yes, I'll take that interview. Yes, I'll have that meeting. Yes, I'll take a look at that contract. Yes, I can shift how I do this, and this so that it connects me with this, and this. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself to unblock yourself is when opportunity presents itself, you say yes. Being comfortable and relying on the same source system to provide you with a lifestyle. Baby, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this one good last time. It's wrong. Everything changes in a millisecond. Life is constantly changing. You're constantly changing. There's no one way to only do thing. And you find that if you watch people that only do this thing this way only, they get old faster. They stay at a certain economic bracket. and they don't grow, they don't shift, and you'll watch their life for years. They're doing the same thing, and I've taught you before, anything with a flat line is what? Is dead. So if you're not being willing to do something new, explore something richer, at least be agile in your growth and your development and how you're showing up in the business world, your personal world, and your lifestyle and your family, then you'll never ever receive the rich new wealth that you're entitled to. And when I say wealth, I don't just mean money. Sometimes it's the wealth of friendship. Unless you're agile and you meet some better people, you may not graduate from you may not graduate from the realm or the network that you're currently in, which is limited with opportunity. And I'm wealth of peace. Like, oh my gosh, unless you shift gears, get agile, and get out of the stress of hitting the same thing, trying to get something out of it that it doesn't have to give, man, that's stressful. Sometimes you just do something new so you have more peace in your life because you're in the flow. So again, when you're looking at what is blocking you, you want to take a look and see, am I demanding something from this one source that this source no longer has to give me? Am I afraid to venture out and try something new? Am I not paying attention to the seasons, the times, or the shift of time where I'm not out of season trying to do something? Or did I miss an opportunity that knocked because I didn't say yes? These are all questions you want to ask yourself, especially if you're in a season where you feel like you're being blocked from growth, success, or change for the better. All right, I hope that helped you. I know I was spicy on that one, but I hope you get it. Sometimes you blocking your own self by just not being aware that something has shifted, which means you need to shift. Now, if this helped you, if you liked it, even if it made you mad, share it with somebody, because we want other people to get agitated in a way that it causes them to be agile so that they can kind of forage into the world and really receive their best of the best of the best. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for us. So like it, share it, comment if you getting this stuff. Did you go out and you find an opportunity and you got it? You want to share with you share that with us so we can celebrate with you. It's so important that we celebrate our victories together. And last but not least, no more blockages, baby. It is time for you to soar. It's time for you to live in your abundance. It's time for you to live the fullness of your life and experience the taste of your destiny. That's what I want for you. So thank you for tuning in. Go win. And I'll see you again really soon.